Thanks, Comrade. We are here today because there are so many things that are happening here at the District Executive Committee set on Sunday, and so that we have something that is consolidated concerning the issues that are happening in our district and NKWANYANA region as a whole. So we do have a statement here which I am going to read it now, so that we'll be on the same page, because this statement is not mine. It is the statement of the Executive Committee of the district. The District Executive Committee of the party, the SMISO district, which is here in NKWANYANA, held a special district executive committee on the 1st of February, it was on Sunday, which was extended to the leadership of the YCMP district. Among the issues discussed was the issue pertaining to the volatile political developments in NKWANYANA. The SSCP in NKWANYANA condemns the disruption of the Slovo Memorial Lecture on the 29th of January 2015, which was scheduled to take place at Chogoza Hostel in Ward 28, SMISO district. The SSCP is shocked by this barbaric and hooliganism that was displayed by people who were said to be the ANC branch leadership in Ward 28. This staggering and sinister act can never be condemned or entertained and does not reflect the relation of the alliance. Our district leaders and members were prevented violently in a Mpumalanga province style to assess the venue that has been arranged to hold the Slovo Memorial Lecture by well-known ANC branch officials. These ANC branch officials said that they could not allow the SSCP to hold the Slovo Memorial Lecture because it was not sanctioned by them. That alone made the SSCP to realize that there are people who have ascended to leadership positions in our structures and do not understand both the ANC and the SSCP. It is unthinkable that members of the ANC, let alone leadership, at this particular time to act against the SSCP in that manner. It is a clear indication of corrupt finance and tenderpreneurs running amok within our organization. It is not time for any of our organization to build enemies. Instead, we need more allies to be able to confront the current onslaught on our alliance and the government led by ANC. The acts that we have seen in Mpumalanga and Ward 28 in the Chogoza Hostel are a useful act in favor of the DA and EFF, and they are anti-working class. These acts need not to nest in our organization. They need to be stopped before they kill our revolution. We wish to put it on record that the Slovo Memorial Lectures that we have been conducting have nothing to do with the incoming NKWANYANA regional conference. They are merely yearly campaigns run by the party in memory of our comrade Slovo, who was the leader of the alliance and the former general secretary and the national chairperson. These acts have demonstrated that there are elements penetrated in our organization who now want to take the center stage. These elements have no regard to the history of the alliance, the character of each alliance partner. They are demonstrating by what we have been seeing in our structural alliance meetings. disruption of an event to commemorate the icon of South African struggle has been something unthinkable in the history of South Africa. This act itself has all the hallmarks of rubbishing the liberation struggle and all the sacrifices and work of our heroes. These acts of political hooliganism will not dampen our spirit. In fact, it confirms our belief that the struggle continues. It was disheartening and shocking to hear some of the disruptors shout at the top of their voices that they do not now understand why Boras banned the SSCP, because they don't want us to eat at eThekwini. That is why they don't want mom. We call for our members to be restrained, remain disciplined, and do not fall to act of provocation. Our struggle is for peace, development, and progress. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we were all clear. I think the document is clear unless there are questions.
See regional leader to discuss about this thing.
My question is, those that are disrupting that disrupted the Joe Slovo Memorial, do you think that it was a pre-planned plot because the SSCP has just re-elected James Tumalo as their chairman and he's also going for the chairmanship of the eThekwini region? And do you think that this is going to set the SSCP and some branches in the ANC on a collision path?
So I'd like to have the clarification. Right now, it was disheartening and shocking to hear this factor, because they don't want us to eat at we. Yeah, a clarification there.
And which mama are they talking about? Do you know? Clarify for us.
No, in the first question on the issue of the disruption of our campaign, the first question was, do we try to speak to the ANC? Maybe we need to say this. For the past 4 years, we've been trying to work closer with the ANC as part of our alliance partner. Also, ANC is leading us in this alliance. As the party, especially our district, we failed several times. They don't even come to our programs. We write letters inviting them, ask them to sit down to discuss issues of, because it's not the first time. There are so many burning issues. For example, the issue of Clip Hostel. It's part of our district. We have a strong branch in Clip Hostel. But the ANC, the leadership of the ANC in the eThekwini region failed to come on board so that we work together in trying to solve those problems. We have been trying. We are hoping that one day they will come on board and understand that we are in the alliance. But we cannot blame the ANC because we do believe that it's individuals. It's not the ANC currently who's leading. On the second question, that we think it was a plan. Yes, it was a plan because On the same day, I think it was around about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the branch secretary of the ANC called me to say I must stop that program of the party. I said, no, I cannot do that. One, you are the branch secretary of the ANC, I respect you, but you cannot tell us to stop that program because you don't know that we are having a program there. Also, we are not a member of the party. We are going there to have that program because we do have a branch in Ward 28. Because the party, our branches are formed in VPs. So now there is a voting district there in Towers and Hostel. We do have a branch there. But on the same day, when the deployee from the district, because he was the one who was going to conduct that lecture, they told her straight that there will be no sitting of that program. They disrupted, they shouted at her.
Who was this person? Sorry to interrupt. That's who conducted the lecture.
Corin George, yes.
Corin George.
Yeah, it's one of our veterans, colored comrade. He's been there, he's been serving with even SMISO, our former provincial secretary. On the last question about this of Mama, it's undocumented because you know there is that thing of saying it seems as if the party is supporting things. For us, we are very clear because we belong to the advanced section of the working class. We do understand the culture of each and every terrain within our alliance. Comrade James is the chairperson of the party, the provincial chairperson of the party. But currently, Comrade James is the RSC member of the ANC. And you cannot divorce the collectiveness of this leadership because it doesn't mean that if we are an RSC member, we are not leading. All of them, they are leading collectively. But now they are trying to derail the minds of the people as if now the party is rallying with James. Because for them, supporting Uzandile, they think that the party is blocking them. They even said that the party doesn't want them to benefit. Because for them, it's not to build the ANC to be strong, but it's for them to benefit personally. That is why we are saying for us, ours is to unite and to make the ANC strong, but not to divide people. I think my comrade will assist me on the question if I didn't put it the right way.
Thank you very much. I think it was clear. If not, anybody wasn't clear, so that maybe we could try.
Just one last one. Where is Ward 28 exactly? What's the area called?
It's all the whole hostel next to Durban Girls and ML.
Oh, it's right here. So
Yes.
there.
At the beginning of Grey Street.
Oh,
Now
where's
it's coming through.
the lecture going to be taking place? In Suppose Hostel.
Yes, the whole inside there where
okay.
the lecture was going to take place.
Okay. And how many people were out there that tried to come to disrupt this thing?
No, firstly, there were 4 males. You will understand that the hostel itself is only for females.
Mm.
So immediately the males arrived there, obviously to bring some of the intimidation, maybe direct or indirect. So there were 4 males, but also they invited some of others who were outside, because there was that some of resistance, because everyone was eager to be part of the memorial lecture and taking place for the first time in that hostel as a leader of the Communist Party, or a branch of the Communist Party. So those who were already inside, some of them, there were people who were using wheelchairs, who were willing to come in and learn in that program, who were automatically intimidated by the route that we were starting to show it face there in the program. So that was the case. And after seeing that the leadership of the branch, who is dominated by females, obviously, were resisting to call off the program, then they started to invite other people, which caused them
Just from a clarity point of view, the ANC and the SSCP are in alliance. They are members of the SSCP in parliament, in all spheres of government, provincial government, and even in the local government. Have you guys tried to meet with the regional chairperson here, the leaders of the ANC in the province to sort this out? Because obviously this is, or even national leadership to try and quell these fires, because it seems what happened in Mpumalanga, I think a week ago, and now splitting here to KZN, there's this disconnect between the SSCP, and there's a rift that seems to be opening up between the SSCP. There are some analysts who say that SFCP has never won 1 vote in this country, and it's been used by those people within the branches to fuel whatever they see against the SSCP.
No, thanks, Chair. Look, there has been a communication, particularly on what was happening or what has happened in Mpumalanga. You know, because there are senior comrades within the movement who are involved or who are alleged to be involved in what is happening in Mpumalanga, and the Central Committee has taken that very seriously, and hence there has been a communication that there should be a meeting between the ANC and the SSCP at a national level to try and mitigate what seems to be a character unknown within the alliance, you know, that is emerging. But I think also again, you know, if you read the statement written by the district, you will see some entrepreneurial terms, you know, that are indicated there, you know, and that on its own seeks to say that there is a new tendency within the ANC that we see as the SACP, which does not have interest of the organization at heart, but it's about how individuals benefits, or toward the ANC. That's what we have analyzed, and that's what we see within the movement. And obviously, as the SACP, we are vehemently against that. You know, it's really what you are saying. But obviously, you know, here in NKWANYANA, we are. There is a congress that is coming of the ANC in NKWANYANA region, and we would not really want to say whether or not the act that was displayed in Thokoza has a link or it doesn't have a link. But our analysis, because again, you know, things they do not just mushroom from nowhere, but there are developments, you know, and up until you will see what will be seen by everyone. But it doesn't start there. You know, there has been exchanging of, you know, of words, you know, and you know, character assassination that has been happening within, moving towards the Congress. It's what we have noted, but it is not something that is new within the ANC, moving to congresses, but it's a character that is aligned with some list
of factions forming themselves, grouping themselves, which is something that we have been saying, it's killing our movement. So those are things, they are interconnected and interrelated. But unfortunately, that is very unfortunate that it has come to what it is, at the moment. Yes.
So, can I ask this question? I know that it won't sit well with some of you.
Yes.
How true is that the tensions between the ANC and the SACP, more especially in this region, it is because some people, they try to get positions in the ANC and they are rejected or they fail or they lose elections. And then weeks later, they join the SACP and then they come back, they emerge as winners of those positions. Because there's been a document, I'm sure some of you know that there's been a document that started circulating around November, that they're saying that the SACP in the next conference of the ANC should be told to toe the line or else it should be kicked out. In fact, these people, they added that the problems that are experienced between the SACP and the ANC is because some people, when they lose positions while they're within the ANC, they join the SACP and they emerge as winners. They become councillors, they become MPs. How true is this?
No, I want to respond to that question. The majority of people who are saying that
Yes.
they are playing mind games because, for me, I cannot attack the ANC or any alliance partners or alliance component because I don't have credentials to do that. It's a process. The relationship between the ANC and the party, it's coming from a long way. But one would say we do have people who are contesting position in the party and failed.
Under the ANC.
In the party.
SACP.
SSCP. And joined the ANC, most of them becoming branch person, even others to the regions of the ANC. We never say anything about that because maybe in the future we need to sit down as the alliance and discuss that issue because any member of the ANC or any member of the party who is the member of the party and the member of the ANC can contest in the ANC and fail but emerge in the ANC. And the member of the ANC can contest in the ANC and fail but emerge in the party. But we never said that these people, they want power because they failed in the party. Now they are emerging in the ANC. So this issue is in two ways. Same story even in COSATU. We do have people who are the leaders of affiliates, but who are contesting either in the party or in the ANC and emerge in the COSATU affiliates. So when we are discussing this issue, we must be broad. Because these people are the same people who are using the Congress movement as their vehicle, trying to stop other people to exercise their rights. Because it's the members' right to contest in any structure that he belongs in. So I was trying to clarify that.
I think you are clear, Mr.
More than clear.
Now, what I can just add is that the ANC can't take a decision to say the SSCP must toe the line or else it must go anywhere. It can't be that fashion. It has never happened before, it can never happen. The ANC can't take a decision in its Congress to say the Communist Party can't be in an alliance because the Communist Party has a role that it's playing there to guard the working class and there's no other structure in the tripartite alliance that can play that role except the Communist Party. You see, the ANC also has its role that is playing there, obviously supported by the Communist Party at all times. So I don't think it was just a clumsy propaganda that whoever was spreading to just dilute the mind of the people.
Just a clarification, I don't think it came through from my previous question of whether you met with the leaders to try and sort that issue out. And if you have met, what has come out of that meeting to sort out what is happening on the ground?
No thanks. As I've said before, we are hoping that we continue to build these people so that they will create a platform where we sit down and discuss issues. I even said before that there are so many issues, even the issue in people hostel, and there are so many issues, even in what date, where we ask these people who are leading that we need to sit down, even in our programs, when we are inviting them in this district, they don't come. But I told you that we cannot blame the ANC for that, because we know that it's the individuals who are leading. For us as the party, we are clear about that. We cannot say it's the ANC, but it's those individuals who are leading now, who are doing these things. But we are hoping we'll keep on getting them so that we'll sit as the alliance.
One last thing, what is the relationship between the SSCP and the current leadership of the ANC?
What is the relationship, or how is the relationship?
How is the relationship? Is it friendly? Is it frosty? Can you talk? What is the relationship like?
I understand that the ANC is leading us in this alliance. But I told you before that there are so many things that have happened. Even our provincial secretary has been attacked by the same members of the ANC, but we never attacked them because our role is to unite this working class and also giving hope to the people that we are leading on the ground. And we do understand that we cannot say the ANC because it's the individuals. Because we are here in this alliance formed by people who had a vision that to build this country we need to have this alliance. But these individuals, it seems that they are derailing this vision of this alliance. But we are hoping that Comrade Chair can add on that.
Yes, I think it's clear. What our secretary is trying to elaborate is that you see the relationship between the South African Communist Party and the ANC. It's good, but you see that the Communist Party and some individuals that are trying to create this havoc. They want this relationship to not exist. You see? Because the South African Communist Party and the ANC, their relationship is an ongoing and it cannot be disrupted by anybody. But those individuals are trying to
Why don't that? The issue of 428 in towards. We have a branch secretary of the branch chairperson who was causing this up, disrupting the program of the party. Those people are the leaders. They are the one who must understand clearly about the vision of the alliance. So now we do have that situation where we have a branch secretary and a branch chairperson disrupting the program of the party. It reminds us the old days where the Boers will come and disrupt the program of the party. before 1994. It's the same situation that we see in Etowas. And these people, they are telling people that they consulted some leaders from the region, and they advised them, because they linked this thing with the regional conference of the ANC. Because in their mind, they are saying the party is driving this. Whereas our chairperson, I mentioned before, currently leading the ANC is the RSC member, James Norman. So now they are playing mind games, because, as I've said before, it could be a chairperson and the RSC member as well at the same thing. So now these people, James is a member of the ANC in good standing. He's exercising his right to contest, not the party. He's the chairperson of the province, we party, then you must respect that. But the party is not contesting the regional position.
But you are fully behind him.
As the communist.
As a communist party, yeah.
But the ANC is Comrade James, whenever, any member of the party, it can be in Kosati, it can be where. I will say, no, exercise your right. It's not wrong.
That there were numerous invitations. So if I invite you, Lee, to a program that I'm initiated and you do not come, and I keep on inviting you, at some point I must conclude that you have no interest to work with me. So obviously the relations there are clear that they are non-existent. So I think also that way you must start analyzing. There are programs I invite you, when I initiate my program, you come and distract the program that I'm having. You see, on its own, it will tell you that it means there is no any other way that a person is willing to work with you in building whatever that we are trying to build. And also, as the Secretary stating it very clear, we were members of the Communist Party, we were given the responsibility to lead, but also we have membership of the ANC. You see, our support for the chairperson to lead the NKWANYANA is within our membership in the ANC, and there is no crime, as the Secretary is saying, in that we choose to support the community that is